Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the OSC Elite Rising Star number 17, day number 3. I'm of course just VIP with him, joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to another day here of the Rising Star events. Again, for those that may be a little bit unaware, the OSC Elite Rising Star is a tournament that's been running for many years at this point that does feature up and coming players. It is locked, it is restricted away from players that have otherwise achieved a little bit too much in their careers. So the best of the best players are not eligible to compete in this tournament, but the up and comers are players like Demi, players like Young Yakov, players like Mute, Shameless, Demi, Hydra, and many more. Speaking of the event itself, we can head on over here to the bracket. We can catch up on what has been going on the first 2 days of the event, who remains and who is involved in a tournament like this. Let's go. Let us go. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Let us head on over here. Oh.
Why should your workday be like everyone else?
Oh. Hold on. Feels ads, man. Un momento, papi, un momento. There we go. Bam. Bam, there we go. As you can see, when it comes to the event itself, it's been running for 2 weeks at this point. 2 weeks is the third week of the event, and again, this should be running for over a month more time at this point. It's a very long event, a double elimination bracket, of course. Double elimination, a lot of games, a lot of matches to transpire here. As you can see from the top, we have players like Arts, we have the other Arts, we have Hydra, Jumi, Ledlix, MidVK, Mute, Bappy, Prome, Rebellion, Sebestus, Shameless, Triple, UD Soldier, Jamek, Baby Marine, Foxer, Honmono, Moja, Nickrat, Percival, Demi, Hatsu, Iba, Mixu, and Young Yako. Let's go, let's go. So again, we do have a wide array of players here from all around the world, from Korea, from Latino America, from Europa as well, and of course the Americas itself. So players from all around, again, all up and coming, all kind of like that step below, you know, the best of the best players, like your Serals, your Rainers, your Clems, your Bjorns, for example. These are the players that are still looking to make a name for themselves. I will say that a lot of them have been improving so much this year, and do regularly even compete against those other aforementioned top players. Players like Shameless comes to mind, players like Percival recently as well coming to mind as well. These are the kind of players that I have my eyes on to maybe even win the entire tournament. Your Shameless, your Percival, Young Yakov as well, and many others. When it comes to the tournaments, as you can see, we have our brackets. And what matches are we going to be covering here tonight? We're going to be in the upper bracket, at least initially, following Rebellion versus Hydra. Winner goes up against Jumi in the next round. That is going to be our first series. Likewise, we're also going to be covering Ledlix versus Mute. Winner goes up against Percival. We're also going to be covering those two matches as well, as Percival did take Sebestus 2-1, did take them down earlier. We're also going to be covering Shameless versus Demi. True, this upper match. So Shameless versus Demi is going to be taking place. Demi did surprise us last week with his 2-0 win over Bappy. Again, it was a crazy win, a crazy upset. So Shameless versus Demi is going to be going on. We have Rebellion versus Hydra, Ledlix versus Mute, and Percival versus the winner of Ledlix and Mute. Those are going to be the 4 matches we're going to be covering here tonight in today's broadcast. And later on this evening, in around 6 or so hours time, sorry, 7+ hours time, we're going to be live with the lower brackets. A lot of these players that have been knocked out have not been eliminated. There is a second bracket here, a lower bracket, to catch those otherwise fallen players and to give them another opportunity to recover and to have a deep run in the tournament. So there's still a lot of matches to go on here. I mean, there's even more rounds further to the left. It's just there's so many rounds that they can't even all fit on the Wikipedia page. So there's a lot of matches to go on to continue this event. Again, we'll be running for over a month's time from this moment. Otherwise, time to jump in. Time to jump into our first series of the broadcast. Time to jump into Rebellion versus Hydra in the PvP. Let's go. Let us go. As a reminder, Hydra, of course, he's our most recent Epic Land champion and did head on over here to the UK. That was what, like 2 weeks ago at this point, 2 weekends ago. Did head on over, did compete, and did come out victorious. But we'll see how he compares to the Korean Protoss player. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Protoss player himself from the land of the Netherlands. It is Hydra. And spawning into the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss from among SSU people. It is Rebellion. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Let's go. Oh, that's in the other act, yeah. Exactly, man, exactly. Aye. They did play versus each other in the previous edition. Yes, they did play versus each other in OSC Elite Rising Star number 16. That's true. So much Protoss. Hope Berserk makes it through, or Terran. I mean, when it comes to the competitive scene, when it comes to the competitive nature of StarCraft, it is very Protoss heavy. That's just the reality of it. That's why there's a very high amount of Protoss players in all tournaments, not just this event, but in all Open Cups. Just a very high quantity of them. So we'll have plenty of PvPs, of course. But there are some key Terrans and Zerg players that we expect to go far. As we mentioned, I did mention Percival, I did mention Young Yakov. Like, those are the two that are definitely in my eyes to make it deep in this event for their respective races. But now though, 2-gate. 2-gate opener at a Rebellion. Likewise, 2-gate opener at a Hydra known as proxying. We have our second pylons in both of our main bases here. So no proxy, no shenanigans, nothing too spicy in game one. Here we go. Here we go. So now we are going to be getting into our first units of choice. From here we can go double Adept, double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, or Sentry Expand. What's it going to be? Cybercore is now done. We have a Stalker Sentry out of Hydra. Meanwhile, Stalker Adept out of Rebellion. Interesting. Hydra is going for a much more standard opener. The purpose here of opening up with an earlier Sentry is to be more defensive, is to scout across the map, give yourself some scouting information, give yourself an idea of what your opponent's taking into, and the timing of their expansions, the timing of their tech. Likewise, we'll have defensive force fields to help defend as well. The pylon block here does lock the probe into the base, so Rebellion cannot escape. That's going to be a dead worker. Rebellion on the flip side did open up with a Stalker Adept. Stalker defends, Adept can race across the map to scout across the map, and we even have that earlier tech as well. Late expansion at a Rebellion. Meanwhile, Hydra did let it finish. That should not have happened. That should not have happened. Oh, a bit of a mistake here from Hydra, so wasted DPS, and also locked into the main base as well. He has to break out. So there's the expansion for both players, but as we mentioned, we did see Rebellion skip out on any additional warp-ins in favor of the Stargate. So Oracle's on the way. Now Hydra, he should be able to confirm this with the hallucination. There we go. Hallucination does move out. Adept, I believe, was caught. Yep, was caught. So nice catch out of Hydra. Nice catch. Hallucination does move out. Breaks in. And does get eyes on the Oracle. So nice scouting here. He's fully aware of what's going on. Oh, and even setting up a proxy across the map. Okay. Throws in the pylon, sets up the proxy. And is ready to counterattack. Now, because of the scouts, we already see the shield battery is done. 2 Stalkers in the main base mineral line. 2 Sentries trying to defend the ramp. Oh, emphasis on trying. 1 probe still does fall. Gets 1, gets up. Doesn't get 2. Barely not. Doesn't get 2 workers. Hydra does defend, and Hydra is going for his own Twilight Council. So Twilight Council in the blink. Of course, Rebellion does have higher tech, but a big reason for that is, again, delayed warp-ins or skipped warp-ins. Hydra moving out, applying pressure. With these early sentries, he can try to look down the army. Yes, there are little Stalkers, but Hydra can slice up this army with force fields, lock it down, and pick away. Oh, nice pickup here. The Oracle does not get the Stalker. Last Stalker does survive. Oh my god, the Oracle goes down. Nice pickup here by Hydra. Rebellion now he knows what's coming his way, throwing down a second shield battery. So he's getting more batteries, warping another Stalker. Shows those force fields. Oh, it doesn't get them. Oh, it does not get them, unfortunately here. So some wasted force fields, did not lock down the army, was missing maybe 1 more force field. Yeah, unfortunately just mistimed. I think he just assumed he had more energy. And with that, Rebellion defense. Rebellion, he does defend. Both players are building up into their 2 base economies. Robo follow-up here out of Rebellion as well. And we're getting in towards the mid game. From here, our players should be expanding. Here we go. 3rd base for Rebellion, 3rd base for Hydra. So both players are going to be expanding. Hydra gets supply blocks. From here, we can build up. As Rebellion does have a slightly early opening timing. And, oh, there's still no 3rd base. Rebellion pokes in. Now we get the 3rd on the way. And Rebellion, he can out control. Goes for the sentry. Ooh, but a bit of miscontrol here. He does miss a blink. Oh no! 3 Stalkers! 3 Stalkers go down. That should not have happened. Rebellion had blink. It does mess up. Takes a bit of fight here on top of the ramp. Hydra should not be here. Uh-oh. Yeah, Hydra should not be here. Trying to push up a ramp into a concave. Reinforcements are on the way. And with those reinforcements, Hydra actually he's breaking through. Okay. Once again, lack of control there from Rebellion, unable to blink away in time, didn't avoid those shots, and Hydra, he just overwhelms. And we just keep going. We can just keep going. He's going for the 3rd. Can he force a cancel? So as they poke in. We have 13-6. Hydra still has a higher count. The expansion finishes, which means that might just be a kill. And if that's a kill, that's going to be game. You can't lose the expansion. There we go. Blinks are available. Speaking of. Up. Oh, we'll lose 1. Oh, toss blink away. Barely snipes the expansion. Force a recall. We'll lose 2 extra stalkers in the process. But did kill the 3rd. And Hydra, he has a massive lead here. He's up a base, he's up an economy. And when it comes to the army size, he has an equivalent Stalker count. He is down in Immortals, but he's working on his own. Oh, Rebellion, upon losing the 3rd base, had to catch up. Double expand, and going for the 3rd and 4th base. I mean, that's the way to do it. It's an expensive way to do it, but sure. Let's go. Let's see if he can pull this off. Likewise, Hydra's building up. As Rebellion's trying to re-expand and taking 2 bases, Hydra's getting more gateways, more warp-ins, more of an army, and getting ready for his push. So it all leads into a massive advantage here for Hydra, as Rebellion is still playing catch-up. Still stuck playing catch-up. Say shade into the natural. Probes are being 1-shot, getting 1, 2, 3 probe kill. Just 2. 2 probes so far. Ooh, unable to shade away. Unable to shade. Not the best trade from Hydra. Trading 2 for 2. One behind a Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine is on the way for Rebellion. Again, he still has a lot of recovering to do. DTs, they can help make up for it. Unfortunately, there's an observer with the main army. Now, thankfully for Rebellion, there's only 1 observer, right? There's only 1 observer with the army. There's no 2nd observer defending the bases. So there's potential for Dark Templar to harass. There's potential. But when it comes to the main fight, Hydra should not lose this. He should not lose this. He has a massive advantage. And with that, the Immortal goes down. Zelce do charge on in. They charge on in. Boys are being pulled away, but again, there's no escape. There's no escaping this army. There's no escaping Hydra. He breaks down the front door, pushes into the 3rd base, and again, Rebellion barely has a standing army left. We have DTs warping in, but there should be an observer with the army. No, go smite. Okay. We saw the observer got sniped. DTs are on the way. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. And this will keep Rebellion alive. does keep him alive. He has to get the hell out of there. Has to pull away. Oh. This one does pull out the Immortal. Jesus. Yeah, brutal target firing. We'll lose the Immortal. We'll lose the Archon. They do somewhat trade. And where is that Observer? Cannons are being thrown down. Observer has arrived at the third. Doesn't kill the base. Actually, barely doesn't kill the expansion. And even though Rebellion survives, and even though, yes, he does have a fourth, he lost so many probes, he lost so much of his army. This is still not good enough. But he stays alive at least. Jesus, that's a lot of... There's 4 cannons at the third base. We have 2 cannons at the natural. We have 1 cannon in the main. It should be good enough. Cannons even finishing up here at the fourth. And here comes the second wave, this time with detection. Oh no, the observers! Yeah, they go too far. No, that's... He loses 1. The other observer barely gets away. I spoke too soon. Observer gets sniped. That was on Hydra. He'll lose both observers, but he should still have enough, even with defensive DTs. Like, speaking of, there it is. So again, Hydra did slip up. He has to pull away. He has to pull back. And GG. And GG gets called with that Hydra. He comes in with the Observer, has the final detection, and Hydra does take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Hydra does take a lead in the series. Again, Hydra, he was able to take a very comfortable lead early on when it came to the initial openers, when it came to claiming his third base, building up his army, and of course, able to catch his opponent in the center of the map as well. We saw a lot of Stalkers going down early on. We saw he was bleeding out a lot of units, a lot of supply, and in the end, he was punished. We saw a very comfortable game there from Hydra, outside of the fact, of course, of the Dark Templar. Like, the DTs were an annoyance, but I mean, that was after he already had maintained a lead, after he had killed the third Nexus of Rebellion. GG. GG well played. Again, Rebellion's goal there was to try to recover economically by double expanding, but it would take so long for that to occur, and Hydra didn't give him the time. Did not back up, did not give him that time. GG, we're now loading into game number 2. Let's go. Here we go. As we're getting to that second game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the blue Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands leading the series 1-0. It is Hydra. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing among us the 2 people. It is Rebellion. Here we go. Here we go. For now, we're going to be settling into our second game. Once again, welcome to Incorporeal. Incorporeal is a larger map of the map pool. Because it's larger, there are more places to proxy. True, there are more proxy locations, so we can potentially try to hide some tech and go for some cheeky builds and some cheeky play. Otherwise, we'll see how our players do adjust. For now, 2 gate. 2 gate openers all around. Once again, we'll keep an eye on the initial pairing of units. Last game, Hydra did open up a Sentry Stalker, and Rebellion went Stalker Adept. So we'll see if that trend continues. We'll see if we do adjust. As Rebellion does spot the Probe Scout, is aware. And Hydra does go in for a scout. Did veer off to the right hand side for a moment, but is going in to confirm what's going on. Rebellion does go for a fake pylon. Oh, never mind. For a moment that was like fake pylon. Nah, it's real. It's gonna be a very real pylon here. Now Hydra, he does scout, he does confirm the pylon is missing. He knows. He counts the pylons, he sees, oh, there's only one pylon in the main base, no other pylon within sight. Something is wrong, something is amiss. And does he believe it? Does he believe it's fake? As is a proxy robo, one base all in. Defensive robo, good call here by Hydra. He's going for the hard counter. So Hydra, he would be in a bit of an awkward position here if it was a proxy Stargate, and he'd be in an awful position if it was a fake pylon. But here he gambles a little bit. He throws down a third gateway, a robo. It is a very strong reaction. He believes it is a real proxy, and it is. As a result, Hydra, he's going to have an equivalence production, essentially. Like he's up a gateway. He's going to be equivalent when it comes to the robo production, when it comes to the Immortals. So far, the reactions are solid, and it's going to be a difficult game here for Rebellion. Immortals on the way. Hydra is still looking, though. He's still looking, still scouting. Searching for the proxy. Scouts on the right-hand side. Scouts bottom left as well. As he fans out. Does he check the Zelnaga tower? He gets spotted. Spotted by Rebellion. More Stalkers rallying together. The first Immortal has arrived. Hydra, he may lose some of these Stalkers. Hydra scouts. Yeah, he does scout. Does come with the robo. Does go for the counterattack. He has to be so careful with that sentry. Oh, there's a force field. Sentry is picked off. Rebellion is racing back. The pylon is going to be targeted down. But it's going to be a one-way trip here. The Immortal has arrived, and these 4 Stalkers, can he manage to recall away? So far, gets a pylon. There's a recall. He will lose 1. Oh, 3 Stalkers go down. That is brutal. So really shaky start for Hydra. I mean, he did delay. He did force the entire army back home. He killed a pylon. That is something. But again, that is 3 Stalkers falling already. So Rebellion's moving in. Meanwhile, Hydra did go for a War Prison first, so really smart, really risky. So basically what's going to happen here, Hydra, his goal is to defend with bare minimum. He's defending with sentries with force fields. So because of the force fields, Rebellion should not be able to force his way up the ramp, or it's going to be more dedicated, more committed to do so by juggling over. It's not an easy call to make, and Hydra going for the backstab at the same time. Gary preserves the gateway. The rest of the army has arrived. Do you see the pylon under fire? Hydra, he does pick up. We get an OK force field, and Rebellion, does he commit in? He pulls away. He pulls away. He thinks better of it. Again, the robo is depowered. And no more reinforcements. So, unlike Rebellion, Hydra can actually keep making Immortals. He can just keep making Immortals. Rebellion no longer can. The robo itself is going to be sniped. Oh, no! Yeah, not quite. The robo is barely saved. Remember, Rebellion, he can always siege up his War Prism and start to reduce, or just get another pylon. But on the flip side, even though the robo didn't go down, Hydra's at least distracting, right? He's distracting Rebellion. Oh, no, the prism! No, the prism! It's gonna go down! Massive pickup! Gets a prism. The Immortals are exposed. They're on their own. Nice time from Hydra. Remember, without that prism, he cannot rebuild another. Second robo's on the way. Second robo's on the way. Hydra, he confirms there's an expansion. Oh, the prism has to be careful. Up. Pick up, does pull away. Brutal interception. And Hydra breaks out. Actually, he does break out. The Phoenix does give chase. And the Prism will fall. Does he snipe the Phoenix? He does not. And Prism goes out. It's going to be another 4 dead Stalkers. Oof. At the same time, we do see Hydra rallying everything across the map. He's got his 4 Immortals, and he should be able to outposition. Remember, there's no Warp Prism. There's no Warp Prism. So the goal here should be to break into the main base. But there's a Sentry. There's a Force Field. He's going to get caught out. At the same time, he can also Force Field the entrance. So we got the counter Force Fields. And he does engage. There's Lift of the Phoenix. Ooh, one Immortal is caught out. So a shaky fight here for Hydra. Very shaky. Gets one of the Immortals. Gets one. Breaks through the Stalkers. And Hydra will still take this fight. And he'll still barely take it. Again, we're getting messy back. Oh. Gets the final Immortal. Has to respect the Stalkers though. So we land another Force Field. Barely another. Prism was late to react. Does recall. We'll end up losing one of the Immortals though. Oh, really? Get out of here, Pappy. Get out of here. Alright, it's gonna give it up. Yeah, brutal loss there for Hydra. And again, like, on the one hand, Hydra's been doing well for himself, but at the same time, some of these fights have been very inefficient. Very inefficient. Despite having a larger army, despite having a lot more potential. I mean, there's been some slip-ups here and there. So still very tense. All in all, Hydra still has the higher Immortal count. He has no equivalent Stalker count. So Hydra still has a better army, but it comes down to the control. Comes down to the unit control. I mean, I say that without the defensive Immortal here, Rebellion, he cannot make a stand. There we go, one Immortal has arrived. He needs a Force Field, needs to lift the opposing Immortals, zone away the Warp Prism. It's not going to be easy. He only has 1 Sentry. Oh. Nice Force Fields, catching out at the depth. And a Stalker. Third Immortal has arrived. Hydra should have enough. He should have enough here. We go for the lift. Lifts up all 3 Immortals, actually. Oh my god. All 3 Immortals are lifted. Shields are triggered. Immortals, they do land. And with that, Hydra, he overwhelms. He overwhelms the ground army. He breaks on through, takes out the final Immortal. And with that, Hydra, he has done a GG gets called. Hydra will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG all played. He will claim the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. A bit of a shaky game despite the fact that Hydra had a really good build. He had a really good response. He did respond with his own robo, with his own 3-gate setup, his own defensive setup, assuming that it was a real proxy and assuming correctly. But there were a couple of key moments. For example, when he moved out initially across the map with his 4 Stalkers, he lost 3 of them. He lost 3 Stalkers for a Pylon and a Sentry. A really, really rough trade there for Hydra. Following that, of course, the moment where he was caught out in the center of the map, when he lost even more Stalkers as he was forced to counterattack. Like, there were a couple of key moments where he was pushing, he got caught out of position, he had to commit, he lost extra units. So he had some really rough fights, but overall he still did have the advantage and still maintained that advantage as well. GG. GG all played. And with that, congratulations, Hydra does advance on into the next round, and we are going to be moving on to our next series, to our next best of 3. One that I'm definitely looking forward to here, it is going to be Shameless versus Demi. If you remember earlier, we did discuss how Demi had a crazy upset when he took down Bappy in the previous round, in the previous week, I should say. Demi took down Bappy 2-0 with a very impressive showing. By no means is he favorite here. Shameless is one of the best players in the entire tournament. Shameless is heavily favored to go far in this event. But hey, Demi, he can pose a threat. If he can threaten Bappy and bring him down, I want to say that he can threaten Shameless as well. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the blue Protoss player, with blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Arguably the highest rated, the best Protoss in the entire tournament. Poised to go far. We'll see if he can. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Indian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Manchurino Esports. It is Demi. Already taking down Bappy. Can he do it to Shameless? Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be setting up, opening a patch gas pool, forced to take the unnatural natural, forced to expand elsewhere. Here we go. From here we are going to be building up. When it comes to Demi and how he did perform against Bappy, we did see a lot of aggressive tendencies here. Again, Demi, he's been known for mutaplay, and mutaplay is where he does really find his biggest strengths. On a map as small as Pylon, though, I would lean away from mutaplay, and we could see something more aggressive on 3 bases. Going for 3 base all-ins are very strong, very powerful here on Pylon. Again, Pylon short rush distance by ground, exposed third expansion as well, so higher chances to pull off something like that. So we'll keep an eye on Demi's drone count. We'll see if he does open up roaches as well. We'll keep an eye on his tech of choice. Here we go. So here we have link speed on the way. Demi, he does pull out of gas, so he's not rushing into an early lair. Good to know. And Shameless is playing standard, going for the Stargate. Again, we don't really expect any big deviations from Shameless. We expect Stargate play into a third base, in towards +1 and blink. Shameless, he doesn't really want to mix things up too much and play like Glaives Edge, for example. It's not his style. Shameless does poke in. Goes in, does pull away. Likewise, Demi just droning, saturating. We do have an extra wave of Lings in production, but this should just be to shut down the Adepts. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough to really counterattack and threaten the third base of Shameless. No, with so few Lings. Shameless does pull away. Here come the Lings to try to shut them down, but Shameless, he should be able to escape to set up his third. Does shade, heads towards his third position. With the Adept still alive, that does mean that Shameless can be more active with his oracles. So he does make it back. That is going to be a Twilight Council before third base, so this is much more aggressive. I did just mention that I don't really expect Shameless to go into Glaives, but this is a sign of potential either early Glaives or early Blink. So early tech here from our blue Protoss, delayed third base. Oracles move out. We're waiting for extra gateways. There we go. We have 2 more gates waiting for another. Sorry, there it is. 4 gate setup. No forge yet. And show us that upgrade. Shameless gets in 3, up to 4 drone kills. The Spore as well. Ay, ay, ay. Twilight Council is done, and we are getting into Blink. So early Blink out of Shameless, not Glaive Adepts. But what does this early Blink timing mean? This means that he's going to be ready for an all-in. If Demi does go for a 3-base all-in, then Blink is done in time to defend the third base. At the same time, Shameless can turn this defense into an offense, throw down extra gateways, and apply a lot of pressure and break the 4th of Demi. Not this third, but by the time Demi gets his fourth base up and running, that's when Blink kicks in. When he tries to get it up, I should say. Let's say shade into the main. Shade into the main base. There's a 9 mining. They scout, they confirm the Roach Warren. +1 has begun. Oh, nice pickoffs. Gets 4 more drones. And soon Shameless can start to move out. Just waiting for his upgrade, waiting for extra Stalker Warpins. Demi is still taking extra gases here. There's a chance, by the way, when this delay finishes, he could even... there's Neva Chamber. I was going to say he could go for the Spire. If we see +1 melee, that would be indicative of Spire tech. But for now, Roaches are on the way. Here's that fourth base that we did mention. So the fourth gets thrown down, and Shameless, he's going to be in position to deny. Again, this is the power of the early Blink timing, is you can push out in this way and break the fourth. And just contain Demi on 3 bases and just gain momentum from here. And this is a very rough start for Demi. Demi stuck on 3 bases, stuck on equivalent base count to his opponent, which should never be happening against EVP. And Shameless is taking a lead. He's taking a lead. He's gaining momentum. And it feels like he's forcing Demi's hand into an all-in. As Demi attempts to re-expand, Shameless should be rotating to deny the expansion again for a second time. Shameless getting his fourth base. Has to race over. Ooh, Link's can we force a cancel? Up! It's gonna be close, he can. Yeah, he can and he will. Shameless out of position. There's a cancellation. And Shameless, he should reciprocate. Demi's taking up Infestation Bit. That tells us that he's going to be droning. On the one hand, Shameless forced a cancel. On the other hand, same for Demi. Another cancellation. Lings they attempt to run by. Where are the oracles, by the way? One oracle went down. There's one oracle with the main army. As ideally the oracles are defensive here, or at least one. So they pick in. So far, very nice control. Lings are deflected. Shameless is poking forward. Demi's getting his hive. Hive is on the way. Roaches are falling down. I mean, this is just critical damage, and Shameless, he can just blink in. He's going to be playing it more conservative, though, as things pop out. True, true. Plays it safe. Demi's holding on. Oh no, the queen! Demi's holding on. He's trying to switch into Hydra Lurker, but this tech is so far away. His fourth base is just now finishing. These are still brutal losses. As here comes the rest of the army. Shameless pushing in. Oh. And GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Demi, he is broken, and Shameless, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, just to re-emphasize, it is so crucial that Shameless killed the fourth base twice. Without a fourth, you are behind in economy, behind in workers, behind in production, behind in army as well. You're behind so heavily that is game. Like, to lose your fourth base that many times, that is brutal. You just cannot keep up supply-wise and economically, and just with the Protoss, especially with that Blink Stalker aggression. And GG. GG all played. Shows how imperative it is to protect that fourth base, to be able to keep up with your opponent's aggression. And you can also see kind of the power of that early Blink timing. Now we're getting into game number 2. Now, it isn't just the early Blink timing, but also the map. We spoke about it. Pylon is very small, short rushes by ground, all-ins and aggression are favored, and we did see a lot of aggression out of Shameless. It was Demi that was trying to drone, and Demi that was trying to build up into a macro game, and was punished for it. Was a punish, and here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself. Representing Team Little Fairy, it is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player representing Matcherino Esports from the land of India. It is Demi. Here we go. As well to Tokamak. Tokamak is almost the direct opposite of Pylon. Tokamak is a much larger map, longer rush distance by ground, and also very defendable on 4 bases. So the likelihood of Shameless going into early blink the same way that he did is very low, right? There's a low chance of that happening. There's a higher chance of Shameless just being more defensive and enjoying a 3 and 4 base setup and building up into a later army instead. There's a higher chance of that happening. At the same time, because this map is larger and because there's a higher chance that the Protoss player is going to be more defensive and more passive, then suddenly Mutaplay becomes viable, right? Spire play and Mutaplay is on the table here for Demi. It is an option. From here, Shameless does pull away. Now we're just getting to our openers. Nothing crazy, just hatch, gas pool. Pulls out of gas, likewise gate expand into Cybercore, Stargate open out of Shameless into Oracle. And just like last game, the big moment, the big thing that we're looking for is the timing of the tech and the timing of the third base. Last game was an earlier Twilight Council into an earlier Blink, into earlier Stalker aggression. It all was kind of leading into and all headed towards that timing to hit the 4th base. We'll see if he does it again. Again, I'm not too fond of the idea of doing that, especially on a larger map like this, like Tokamak. So that's not what I expect at least, but we'll see. Shameless does attempt to shade. And just keeping Demi on his toes. Let's keep him on his toes here. Stagnant Death does move in. In the shade. And the Shameless claiming his 3rd base, and as you can see, this time, unlike the previous game, he should be going for a faster, oh, there's the juice, faster 3rd. This time 3rd base before the Twilight Council, so more of an economic build out of Shameless compared to last game. Oracle dips in, gets 1, gets 2, but does overextend. Ooh, and that is a big loss here for Shameless. First Oracle goes down, gets 2 drones, that is not worth it. And not worth it for Shameless. That is an early Twilight Council. Not as early as last game, but still earlier than normal. So early Council, Gateway's being thrown down. This should be either Glaives or Blink again. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll see what it's going to be. Again, this is not as fast as last game, but still an aggressive build. Second Oracle pokes in, gets 1 drone. Twilight Council's finishing up. And it's going to be Lair first by Demi. Does go for the early Lair. Huh. And this time, Glaive Adepts. This is what I assumed was going to be happening last game, if you recall. I was like, it's probably Glaives, but it turned out to be Blink. This time we have Glaives, so Shameless, he is being aggressive. Remember, this is not an all-in, but this is a way to cripple the Zerg player. It's a way to cripple. For now, this is just regular Adept aggression. So we have 5 Adepts. Ooh, he commits to the Shade. He does commit in. Things are going down. Remember, this aggression is not indicative of Glaives. But ideally, Shameless does want to preserve this army. If there's a recall, saves the Adepts. Picked up 5 Lings, no economic damage. Saves the Adepts, and we'll be able to preserve them and build them up into that Glaive timing. If you lost them, that would have been disastrous. So Demi, oh god, he's going in, he's skipping roaches. Oof, this might just end the game. So this is not meant to kill, this is meant to cripple, this is meant to do economic damage, but if there's no Bailey Nest, if there's no Roach Warren, if it's purely Ling, Queen, Hydra, then Adepts can just kill. Because, I mean, how do you stop them? How do you stop them? You need a massive amount of Adepts to surround. There we go, down goes the first Queen, he gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3 Queens. All 3 Queens go down. Adepts say Shade into the natural, Lings are trying to engage. And they do catch out some Adepts. Okay, mispositioning here from Shameless. Oh, but Lings are still falling. Adepts say clump up. They get 6 turns, GG gets called, game ending damage, and Shameless, he will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. He will claim the series. Once again, when it comes to Glaive Adepts, they're not meant to end the game, not in that way. They're just meant to get some economic damage, then be dealt with, and then we can move on into a longer game state where Shameless has been working on +1 and Blink and getting his 3rd base up and running. Unfortunately, Demi, he skipped his tech. He was being greedy, he skipped his Baneling Nest, and he skipped his Roach Warren, so he had no way to deal with Glaive Adepts. Yes, he has Lings and Queens, but as you saw, Adepts, they trade very efficiently against that kind of army, even against a low amount of Hydras as well. Hydras are also very vulnerable as they are light units, so Hydras take bonus damage from Adepts, so do Lings. So Lings and Hydras take bonus damage, so they just do not last at all against Adepts like that, and that was game ending. GG. GG, well played. My condolences to Demi as he gets caught with this. The pants were down. Happy the pants were down. GG, well played. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up our series and getting ready for our next matchup. We are going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we're going to be returning with a PvP. We're going to be returning here with Ledlix versus Mute in a Protoss versus Protoss matchup. Europe versus Latino America. No shame in that loss. Shameless, Pappy. True. I see. I see what you did there, Pappy. I see what you did there. But we're going to be going on a break. When we come back, we'll have the next 2 matches of the broadcast. See you then. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back here to our next match. We're going to be jumping into our PvP between Mute and Ledlix. We just saw Demi get knocked down to the lower bracket. We just saw Rebellion get knocked down. As a result, we have both Hydra as well as Shameless advancing on into further rounds in the tournament. Likewise, we're here to determine who will face off against Percival in the next round. Percival, he is waiting for the winner of the series. Let's go. Let's jump in. As we're jumping into our PvP, jumping into Ledlix and Mute. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss himself representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Ledlix. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the Peruvian Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. And if you're in the chat, it is Gamba time. It's Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvP. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go as we are going to be settling in. We do have Ledlix going for his initial opener, so is Mute, and we'll keep an eye on whether or not they do go for their 2 gates and whether or not they do hide a pylon out on the map. So far in the previous matchup, in the previous PvP between Hydra and Rebellion, we did see Rebellion go for the proxy robo in game 2, but here on ley lines, we do often see longer games. There are some nice proxy locations here, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Ledlix and Mute. We'll see if they're one, if they're willing to cheese. We shall see. Also great to see kind of a clash of regions. We don't often get to see Mute and Ledlix face off against each other, as they're from Latin America and Europe respectively. Often they avoid each other. Let's go. Hello. Speaking of proxy locations, Mute, he does set up here in the center of the map. The pylon gets thrown down, and Mute is going for what looks to be a 1-base all-in. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So Mute is setting up. Cybercore is finishing. We're expecting a robo. And there it is. Robo has been thrown down. Proxy Robo is on the way. Behind this Ledlix, he is scouting. He does know that a pylon is missing. He knows that something is wrong, something is amiss. And Ledlix is scouting, he's looking. He does check the center location initially. Checks the bottom half of the map, the center of the map. He's going to be on the low ground, and does he go up? Does he check? He already expands though. He already expanded. He's going for the Nexus. Ledlix is checking that top side. Looks like he will eventually find the proxy in the center of the map. But how does he react? As so far, there's no Cybercore, there's no Stargate, there's no Robo, there's no tech. He's being quite greedy. And Mute is here to punish. There we go. Defensive Robo is on the way, but again, it's a much later Robo out of Ledlix. This is in comparison to Hydra in the series against Rebellion, where he went for a Robo before expand. I mean, he never did expand. Just went with a straight Robo blindly. And this is going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold for Ledlix. Here comes the Prism. Here come additional Stalkers. Sentries as well. Just rallying. You can go for the slow Warpins. Mute does rotate. Thankfully, there is a shield battery in the main, okay. So shield battery in both bases. Mute does drop. Drops in, going for the Stalker. So far, nice control. He should save the Stalker. No! Oh, the Prism gets turned away. He's going to lose everything. Wow, he's going to lose everything here. It looks like he maybe saved 2 Stalkers. Oh, no! Oh my god, barely gets away. Gets away with 4 HP. Again, a brutal position there for Mute, so Lelix does take the better fight. The Immortal has arrived. And again, did Mute lose too much already? That Prism is one shot away from going down. Obviously, shields are being regenerated, but just a really rough position here for Mute. Has to be so careful. Oh, God. He's dropping with the Prism. This is so dangerous. Speaking of... Oh, no! Jesus. Prism is forced back. He's playing with fire right now. Jumping in. In, once again takes a lot of damage here on the first Immortal. And Lelix is holding, by the way. Lelix is holding on. So far, so good. Mute still has a large army, don't get me wrong. But he hasn't achieved too much yet, and we already have 3 shield batteries. Force fields, they do try to lock down the army. Oh! Nice counter force fields, the Immortals are breaking through. Yeah, they're pushing in, they get into all the shield batteries. Just pylon is going to go down, depowers everything. Shield batteries are depowered, and with that, Mute can now collapse in. Does lift one Immortal. The boys are being pulled, but Mute's done it. At this point, Mute, he should have enough. It's still getting quite close. More Immortals have arrived. Oh, gets another Immortal kill. Wow. Lelix, he cleans up the army. Oh, he repowered the shield batteries. Let's go. It barely repowers, lifts the final Immortal, and with that, GG gets called. Lelix, he shuts down the all-in, and Lelix takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, Mute did have a really shaky start to the game, losing, was it two Stalkers early on. He attempted to go for some Immortal Harass, which didn't achieve anything either. Like, it was a very, very shaky start. And again, we got to see Lelix have plenty of time to react, to respond, to get more shield batteries. In the end, he was even able to repower some of the shield batteries as well. I was concerned that the Force Fields was zoning him away, but he had so many Immortals, and we saw that Mute, because his Prism was so low, had a really hard time actually juggling his units and saving them, preserving them, because he had to be so careful with that Prism. GG. GG, well played. Whew, nice defense here by Lelix, and now we're loading into Tokamak. Let's go. We're loading into Tokamak. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Italian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Lelix. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss, the blue Protoss player himself. We have the premium Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. Here we go. Go. That's from here we're going to be settling in. Once again, we'll see if either player does commit into a proxy. So far, 2 gate openers all around, and our eyes are on the initial probes. Now remember, it was last game that Mute went for the proxy, so I wouldn't be opposed to Mute even just hiding a pylon and making it look like he's cheesing when really he isn't. Let's see. That's our eyes are on this probe. Does move out, and it looks like he will just scout. So just scouting. There's a second pylon. It's thrown down and next to the asses. And Lelix will confirm. Can we include Lelix in the most improved players of 2025? Maybe. I would say that, at least for me, there's probably some recency bias just because of Lelix beating Nickrak 2-0 last night during Sparkling Tuna Cup. Like that's like there's definitely some, I feel like, some recency bias there, just because I don't really recall any other big results that he's had. So I'm tentative on that one. I feel like we gotta wrap up the year first. We gotta gotta wrap up the year first. Just to see all of his overall results. There we go. As from here, we do have a nice block here out of mute. Gonna be blocking, gonna be delaying. Oh, true. Fun fact. I think I might put mute there, right? Like, I think he has to be in that. Because this year, he beat Classic, he beat Cure, right? Or took maps off of Cure. We don't beat him. I can't quite recall in KSL. Like, mute, to me, mute is kind of like Shameless, where mute, he popped off in last year in 2024, just like Shameless, right? Like, they both had really impressive years last year. So I think some of the results are like blending together for me. The Mutant Shameless. From last year, I mean. You know what's crazy? 2025 is almost done. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Ay, ay, ay. From here, we do have our Twilight Council into Blink, so both players getting into Blink. Lelix, of course, does have the faster tech. Meanwhile, we do see Mute with the faster expansion. So Mute, he does have the slightly better economy, just because of the heavy delay here on the expand. So a shaky start from Lelix. Shaky. As he is now Maynarding over. Does Maynard. Mute threatening a dive. Lelix is in position. Does block. Does block in time. Do have the Robo follow-ups. A very safe play here by Mute. Going for his Robo before expanding. Lelix, he may expand before his Robo. Yeah, he has the money. He has the money for it. There we go. So Lelix is being a little bit greedier here. Mute is being safer. Both heading in the same direction, just in different ways. As Mute does poke in. Doesn't have as many soldiers to work with, and Lelix just goes for the dive. Get diving on the main army. Catching at the sentry. At the same time, Adepte shade into the mineral line. Oh, and probes are finally going down. Gets 2 probes so far, and Adepte make their way in. No, no! Yeah, there's no wall up, not in time. Does force a recall. And we're getting more probes. Getting more probe kills. 6 probes going to be going down. 7 probes. 7, 8, and 9 worker kills. Nice damage here by Mute. Mute does poke in. Again, from here, Mute is going to be able to catch up economically. Going into Glaives as a follow-up. Let's go. Mute Mute is going to be more aggressive, going for an earlier timing. Going for Glaives. Winding it back here, the way that this works is Lelix, he's taking up in towards charge, in towards +1, in towards Archon production. Lelix is going to be building up towards a longer and later game, and he'll have a more efficient army as we progress. Meanwhile, Mute, his own army has an expiration date. He's not really taking up too hard, not really thinking about a longer game state. There's going to be a big power spike with Glaives, and that's when he has to strike, with Glaives and with +1. So he's going to have the upgrade advantage as well. Very committed here from Mute. Here comes the gateway explosion, getting up to 10 gateways. And Lelix is still unaware. He's still unaware as to what's going on. You can see he's going for the Templar Archives, taking up into Archons. Just now going for his own gates. And we'll see if he can survive the timing. Here comes Mute, just waiting for the War Prism. Prism moves out. Now Mute can rally. Now he can push. Just warping the Adepts. I say he can rally. He's supposed to wait for +1. But again, it will soon finish. Hallucination does get out in the depths. Big scout, he knows. And now he's aware. Lelix already getting a 4th base. We need shield batteries. There we go. Cannons are on the way. I have more shield batteries, more stack defense. Again, this is a late scout. He's running down 3 cannons. 3 cannons, another pylon. Warping in Archons. Again, Lelix, he now recognizes how much danger he's in. Here comes Mute. He always got his own fake Archons. Let's go. He waddles in. Gets the first Archon. Yeah, 1 Archon goes down. Almost gets a second. Does. There's 1 Archon left. And it gets picked up. 3 Archons for massive pickoffs. Now there's 0 Archons remaining. The Adepts, they can just walk their way in. The Zealots, they try to charge forward. That's what the Adepts are for. They shut down the Zealots. And Lelix is just being overwhelmed. He's being overwhelmed here. Mute is snowballing out of control. He breaks through the front lines. Takes down all the Adepts. So he takes down all the Zealots, I meant to say. With said Adepts. And Mute has broken Lelix. Again, it was just a late scout, late realization as to what was happening. Taked up too much too hard. And Mute, he's here to end the game. He's here to kill. He's here to kill back. And with that, Lelix tries to dive in. 18 probes going down. GG gets called, and Mute will tap the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Mute, he went for a hyper-aggressive follow-up, going into +1, going to Glaives. As we mentioned, the goal there was to end the game. If he failed to do so, he would fall behind tech-wise. And we saw that, of course, Lelix was just being a little bit too greedy, getting a 4th base, going into Archons. Not just that, but he had a really rough fight as well. Had a really rough fight. Did mess up, but he did have a really rough fight, losing the 3 Archons at the beginning of the game. Like that was brutal. That was brutal, losing all 3 Archons. And with that, GG well played. With that, we're now getting into the ace match. Oh, we're loading into Oceanborn. Okay, let's go. Something that we didn't get to speak about, because we haven't actually seen any of those maps, is that for this tournament there is an extended map pool, right? There's an extended map pool. There are maps that were voted on by the players. One of those maps is Oceanborn. I believe some of the others are, let me just double check. We have Oceanborn, we have Hecate, we have Ancient Cistern, and we have Golden Aura as well. Actually, I don't think Oceanborn's a part of this map pool, so I think this was a bit of a mistake, but it's fine. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing team the Platinum Heroes, the land of Italy. It is Ledlix. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Peruvian Protoss. We have the blue Protoss for Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. Settling in. So we're getting into game number 3, getting into the ace match here. Oceanborn was known for a lot of aggression, a lot of proxies, a lot of all-ins. Again, Oceanborn was a part of the map pool for a very long time. I want to say 2 seasons, maybe more than that. At least 2. Not a bad map, but did stick around for quite some time. Stuck around for a long time. So now we are setting up. Nice pylon block here out of Lilix. Does block. Will delay. Lelix getting his own base up running. My apologies, that was Sentry Expand. Sentry Expand out of Lelix. Very greedy opener out of our Italian Protoss player. Going for a lot of greed, and a Mute back at home is going for a standard opener himself, falling behind economically. So a nice start for Lelix, having a slight edge over his opponents. Let's go. That was a clown in the chat. Come back later, baby. Come back later. What do you think this is? ESL chat? Oh my god. For now, though. For now, we are going to be settling in. Again, Blink is on the way. And we'll see when our first kind of big point of deviation does arrive. We do have some Adepts warping in, so Mute is going to be going for some aggression. Here come the Adepts. 2 Adepts, of course, they can one-shot workers, so if at any moment Lelix is not paying attention, if he's ever distracted, these Adepts can wreak havoc, and they need to. Remember, Mute, he is behind economically because of the opener. Lelix even going for the faster third base as well, so maintaining that economic lead. As Adepts, they make their way across the map, going for a Robo as well before the third. Just like last game, Mute being very safe. Being very safe. Robo before expanding, just like game number 2. Oh, nice catch by Ledlix, takes down both Adepts. Does move in. Yeah, again, he has plenty of Stalkers. I do appreciate how Mute does use hallucinations. We've seen them throughout this series so far. But despite that, he can't really threaten too much, has to back off. And so far, Lelix still maintaining that lead. Still does maintain. More deaths moving in. Immortal production has begun for Mute. Now, So far, this build has been the same as last game. Are we willing to go into Glaives again? Do we just go for the same style? This time, Lelix with the faster forge. Okay, faster +1. Wonder why Phoenix Wars stopped being a PvP staple. Phoenix Wars is still a thing. If you recall, the only viable maps that allow for Phoenix Wars are maps that have a ramp coming into the natural. As you can see here, there's no ramp. There's no ramp coming into the natural base. That's why you still see Phoenix Wars on torches. And also, what's the other map I'm thinking of? Ultra Love. So you do see Phoenix Wars on Ultra Love. You do see Phoenix Wars on torches. The reason why you don't see it as much as you did previously is because in the meta, when it comes to making maps, now it is less common to have a ramp coming into the natural base. So it's more common to have something like this, which is your naturals on the same plane of elevation as your third or the rest of the map. So it's just all about the map. It is the same build. Same build out of mutes. Remember, Lelix did go for earlier +1. He's being more aggressive, more active. He shouldn't get much done though, thanks to the Immortal. Oh, gets a Stalker, okay. Gets a Stalker, gets one. Map design choices, yes. Well, as in, because I would say Phoenix Wars aren't healthy for the game, now because of that, like, it was a choice amongst the community to not make it a standard feature anymore, to have ramps coming into the natural to try to avoid that sort of thing. Previously it was a more common trait, now it isn't. To try to dissuade that. Like, maps are pretty, I mean, there's a reason why we try to bring up the map itself, like, whenever we get into one. When it comes to what they favor, what they don't. What styles are preferred. Less applicable in PvP, at least in this setup. And Mute, again, as time goes on, his army is getting worse over time. Remember, Mute, he did go into Glaives. He's going now +2. Mute, he's avoiding Archon production. He's avoiding any further tech. It's all or nothing for Mute. Once he moves out, so he's committed. He's essentially going for an all-in. So it's going to be all or nothing for our Peruvian Protoss. Meanwhile, Lelix, he's setting up for a backstab, getting ready for a counterattack. Once Mute moves out, Zealots will move in. Think it was more of a balance / unit change? No, because you still see Phoenix Wars. Like, as I mentioned before, like, you still see them on torches, you still see them on Ultra Love. Like, there are still maps that actually have the ramp coming into the natural, so you still see Phoenix Wars there. Just on the specific maps. I feel like there's another map that I'm forgetting that has a ramp into the natural. Regardless. Oh. This run-by is very far out, by the way. I'm a little bit concerned that it's a little bit too far away when it comes to striking the third, because here comes Mute right down the middle. Zeltia, we gotta go. We gotta send it, man. Oof, yeah, brutal engage here from Lelix, bleeding out some Stalkers. There we go, now they move in. And we can see Lelix has the Bay on the way. The Bay is on the way, Disruptors on the horizon. A couple of Disruptors will be enough to shut this down, but he needs time. As remember, we do see Lelix with a massive Immortal lead. Okay, the Zealots are ready. The Zealots are now in position. Prism moves in. We might end up in a weird base trade. Like, again, this is a lot of supply across the map with the Prism, with the Zealots. And Mute has built up a death bull of an army. And again, without Disruptors, like, this army is looking terrifying. Here comes that first Disruptor. Here comes Mute. pushing in. We have all the depths shading in towards the natural. Do they commit? Okay, thankfully they do not. Zelda hit the third base. Cannon goes down, forces a recall. Zelda into the natural as well. Yeah, massive move here from Lelix. The recall does buy so much time. 10 probe kills. 11. Ay, ay, ay. Prism goes, oh, a bit of miscontrol there. Prism goes down. No more run-bys, no more counterattacks. Mute, he can focus. He can focus on the push. Mute is maxed out. Again, Lelix, he's been banking resources. He's not been warping in. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Lelix has been skipping warp-ins. His macro did slip. Jesus. The mass hallucination. Don't waste it over. Remember, Adepts, they cannot shade away. They cannot blink away, I should say. Nova goes off. No connection. We hold it onto the second Nova, and this time it will connect. Yeah, very nice. Takes out a massive chunk of depths, but that's what we need. We need another Nova like that. Needed two. Yeah, the Archons are going down. They're on the front lines. The Immortals, they just go ham on the Archons. There's one Archon left, down to 0. Oh, almost. The one Archon barely survives. And remember, as we mentioned, Mute's all in. Like, he's been all in this entire time. This is meant to end the game, and it will, one way or the other. There he goes up. Very nice connection. And Nova's, oh my god. The Novas connect. Stalkers, they blink back. All the depths go down, and here comes the warp in. Here come the Zealous. Lelix has done it. He breaks the main army, diving on the Immortals. And again, Mute going for the same build 2 games in a row, going for the Glaive Immortal all in. I mean, it was great the last time when he caught Lelix off guard, but this time he was so much better prepared. GG gets called, and Lelix, who will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Lelix does take the series, does take the 2-1. Again, Mute's going for the same build was disappointing. It's difficult to really justify going for the same style multiple times in a series. That goes for all builds, that goes for all matchups, especially when it's a very quirky, very unique, very intentional build. So he went for the same style, going for the big 3 base all in, going for the early +1 into +2, into Glaive Adepts, into Mass Immortal. But this time, Lelix had the better economy. He had straight up the better economy early on. Faster third base, faster natural base. He did have the faster forge and faster +1 as a result, so he had the upgrade advantage instead. And likewise, he was able to buy a lot of time. Able to buy a lot of time with the run buys, with the counterattacks, and barely bought enough time for the disruptors. I was a little bit concerned, as I mentioned at the time. We did see that Lelix, he was mismacroing, or he was missing macro cycles. He was missing warp-ins, so that was a big concern. He had a late second and third robo as well, so he was slipping up a little bit, but still took it in the end. GG. GG, well played. Some very nice Novas, very nice connections, and with that, we have Lelix advancing on into the next round. Let's go. Let us go. As we do have our next series, we're going to be jumping into our PvT between Lelix and Percival. Oh my god. Let's go. We have our PvT. As Percival has been patiently waiting for his next opponent. And now we're getting it. Of course, Percival, he is, I would say, probably like the rising star of this year. Remember, Percival, he did retire. He did retire for a time, did step away from StarCraft. He came back at the end of last year. It was November. It was either November or December of 2024. And at the time, Percival, he did mention to us, I was like, oh, you're back, like welcome back, like, are you gonna commit as well? Are you back like to stay? And he was like, oh no, I'm just for fun, you know, I'm back just to stream, just to play some games, like not gonna take it as seriously. But he, for whatever reason, like he got addicted, like he got motivated again, and he was on that grind, streaming all the time, laddering all the time, and he's improved so much over the past 11 months at this point. It's been very impressive. And as we mentioned at the start of this broadcast, he is one of the favorites to win the entire event. I'll say he's the highest rated Terran player in this tournament. Let's go. There's going to be a big challenge here for Lelix. Let us go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss, the Italian Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Ledlix. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Oh no! Hold on. Un momento. I do need to pay out the previous predictions. There we go. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will go the way of the Terran, will go the way of the Protoss. Ledlix has been improving a lot in recent times, that is true, but at Percival, his rate of improvement has been greater. He has been leveling up quite heavily, and we've seen Percival take it to some of the best Protoss and Terran players in the world. It's been impressive to see that rate of improvement, and again, we'll see if anyone can stop him. I think I would even say that he might be the favorite of the tournament itself, not just the best Terran. Again, that's when I look at players like Shameless, look at players like Young Yakov to bring him down. Players like Ledlix, let's go. Let us go. He then stomped a bunch of people, so casual. Ah. Yeah, he even recently came back from the Americas, of course. If you remember, he traveled to SE for All. He was a part of the event in Philadelphia. He's part of the event. I don't think Percival's had many opportunities to travel. I want to say he was at a DreamHack Dallas at one point, like maybe last year, maybe the year before, I should say. I remember there was a year where almost all the Koreans went. Like, when I say all the Koreans, I mean even players like Luna C, Honmono, Quanta, like even some of the like the lesser known Koreans. I think that was like 2 years ago. Casual trip to Philadelphia. True. Casual fact. So now, economic opener. Racks expand out of Percival, then following up with his factory. So going for the economic starts. When it comes to the evolution of PvT over time, it has changed heavily. I mean, we were speaking about this like halfway through the year, how PvT has evolved so much in 2025. And since then, it's evolved even more. Like, it's we have gone through so many metas of PvT. It's crazy. Currently, we've shifted away from the all-ins. Again, before this, especially around DreamHack Dallas, coming into EWC, there were a lot of 2-base all-ins, a lot of mech as well. Of course, there was a lot of mech in PvT. In the latest patch, as the Mindshot shuts out Who's Nation. And with recent changes, of course, to Storm, we have seen PvT change once again, and now we have seen a bit of a resurgence here of more mid to late game play. All-ins have been less effective, they've been less useful, so we've seen all-ins kind of die down amongst all players, and now we see a lot more kind of mid to late game macro play instead. Kind of building up to this more death ball of a composition with Ghosts, with Liberators. Not saying that happens every game, but nowadays it's more often than not that occurs. I would say like maybe 70% of the time. Ooh. As Ledlix, he does go for his own 3-gate blink. Sorry, 3-gate opener into a third base. Not blink, going into charge. Okay, bold move. So going into early charge like this is designed to shut down tank pushes and tank all-ins. So if Percival was going to be hyper aggressive on 2 bases, then charge would be ideal. The problem is, though, as we mentioned, that Percival, he has been less aggressive in that way. Mindshot comes in. Widowmine shot is going to go up. Oh. Nice retargeting. Buying more time, being as annoying as possible. And with that, we even have the on burrow as well. Finally, the Widowmine does fall. But a lot of lost mine time. A lot of lost mine time there. So very nice play there by Percival. Very annoying. Behind this is getting to zone 3-1-1 setup. And of course going into high flight rotors into speed banshees. Let's go. Percival was in Dallas this year. Oh, there you go. There you go. And I remember he was in one of the Dallases. But I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, he might have been in both. True. Might have been in both. Did SE for All replace Philadelphia, or are they independent tournaments? Replace is a weird way of putting it. The people that work on Philadelphia, they actually collaborated with the SE Historian to make the events happen. I would say that yes, it replaced it this year, but whether or not SE for All continues coming into 2026 is yet to be determined, right? Like, it was basically the SE Historian stepping in as the main sponsor. So if he decides not to run the event next year, then Philadelphia will run anyway, right? So it's one of those things where the event is going to run regardless, and if it has SE Historian's support, it's going to be SE for All. If it doesn't, it's going to be Philadelphia, right? So replace is a weird word because we don't have, like, you know, confirmation that the SE Historian is going to make this like a regular thing. That's why I will say that that is the case, like this most recent event, but yeah, it's hard to say that's like a permanent thing. I guess a better way of putting it is there's always going to be an offline LAN event in Philadelphia. Like that. I say always, like there's a very high chance of that happening. Just because the people that work on Cheese are very passionate. And even if the SE Historian wasn't supporting the event and wasn't sponsoring it, like, they'd still run it anyway. As Percival does poke in, the Zealots are clumping, the mine shot's up, these connections, and with that Percival, he breaks through. He breaks through the Zealots. He will shut them down. Boys are being pulled. Banshee, they come in from behind, and Lelix is being shut down here, as he should lose every single Zealot. And again, we have more Zealots warping in. It's going to be close. With those reinforcing Zealots, it looks like he barely will clean up the Marines and will defend. Whew. Okay. So Lelix does hold on, but at a cost of 12 probes. Ay. Banshee gets away. 12 workers go down. And with that, Percival does have a nice lead, a nice start. He has momentum. He has momentum in this game. You can see he backs off, he re-rallies, he does reconsolidate his army. Colossus are on the way. But there's still a window in time before the Colossus pops out. And this fourth base, oh, it's going to be difficult to defend. Yeah, there's a cancel. There's no saving the base. Not like this. And it's on Lilith to just buy time, for the Colossus. Trying to buy time. Oh! Does swing in. A bit of friendly fire. But does dive forward, diving in the Metamax. And he gets one, he gets two. Just one. There we go, he gets the second one as well. Nice cleanup here by Lelix. He holds on. He's holding. He's defending. More Colossus are amassing. Now, after this defense, Percival is still in a better position. That's what's crazy here. Percival, he was trading with the army. He escaped with some units. It's a very cheap army as well, going Mass Marine, Marauder, Widowmine, and he denied the fourth base. That's all that matters here. He denies the fourth base. He ensures that Lelix's economy is worse than Percival's. Again, the Protoss player wants to be up in expansion. They're even on bases with the Terran. So Percival, he's in a better position. Behind this taking up, we have the Ghost Academy on the way. Meanwhile, Lelix getting a second Robo. Getting into Mass Colossus. Percival does stem in. Oh. Sims in. Mine shot going up. Nothing too major here. But again, just keeping Lelix busy. Catching some transferring workers. So the one might get shut down. Again, fourth CC for Percival is on par with the fourth base of Lelix. Ay. And there's a lot of pressure on Lelix here. There's a lot of pressure to get something done. He's building up to a fourth Colossus. He's heavily reliant here on Colossi. Whereas other players would by now be taking into Storm. How many Vikings? For now, 0. Ooh, 0 Vikings, only 1 starport. Percival, he is lacking anti-air. He scans, he sees the Colossus. Where's the Viking production? Obviously, especially against only a handful of Colossus, Marauders, they can stem in. Oh, and they might. Yeah, he wants to. Does see the straight Colossus, stems on in. Barely not able to pick it up, but does depower the Rovers. Rovers are depowered. Marauders, they back off, and here we go. Viking production has finally begun. But this is late, right? These Vikings are late. They are delayed. So there's going to be a window in time where Lelix does have the greater main army with all these Colossus. Click on the EMPs. Oh, EMP lands on the sentries. On the Prism as well. But Lelix, he might just have too much here. It's going to be close. Again, it all comes down to the Colossus. They're moving in. Might just going off. Ooh, brutal connections on the Zealots. Colossus, they're trying to push through. Yeah, they're lagging behind. Some wasted shots. Reorders are coming for this round. The boys are being pulled, and Percival, he wants a Colossus. He wants to dive in, and he will get them one. Oh, one barely goes down. That's a lot of boys falling. Does he get the same Colossus? Can we save it? The lift! Oh my god, that was very close. The move command, a bit of miscontrol there by Lelix. Does miscontrol, he will lose almost everything. That's 3 Colossus going down. Percival, he rallies across the map. He did lose 25 SCVs. We gotta keep going. But now there are Zealots. Oof. Yeah, he'll lose the final Colossi. Shout out to the Vikings. Vikings shutting down. The 4th base goes down for a 3rd time. For at least a second. And Percival is going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throats. He's down in workers, but he's up in army. Ghosts are exposed. So let's say get 2 ghosts so far. Getting up to 3. 3 ghosts go down, but the Marauders, they just hammer away at the Stalkers. And there's no splash damage. Up, Colossus just now coming in. He's coming. Trying to push forward. EMP lands. And the Stalkers are too low. The Stalkers are far too low here. He's going for the kill. The boys are being pulled. Can he save the Colossus? He can. Just barely. Oh, God. Brutal EMP, and Percival, at this point he's done. At this point he has broken his opponent. Sure, we're up to 2 Colossus, but there's no support. There's no support, there's no defense. The final Colossus goes down. And this was quite close, to be honest. Like, I'm still thinking about the retreat here in the center when Lelix, when he lost 3 Colossus, when he miscontrolled, when he moved commanded into the army. That was brutal. And if that hadn't happened, if he escapes with even 2 more Colossi, then, I mean, that changes everything. That could have made the defense, to be honest. That could have been all he needed. So very close, very close. But in the end, GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG will play. Does take lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Lelix was able to hold his own. And again, I can definitely see a world where he could have maybe even survived the counterattack as well after crippling the economy. If only he hadn't lost those Colossus in the center of the map. If only he hadn't moved commanded into the army as well for that one moment. It's possible that maybe he wouldn't have escaped, but it didn't help. Didn't quite help there. And GG. GG well played. Percival takes the lead. And now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing himself and the squirrel. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Italian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Whew, representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Lelix. Here we go. Guys, we are going to be setting up and settling in. Welcome to Magnatha. Magnatha is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by grounds. With that, we typically do see longer and later games here on Magnatha. Last game, we did actually get into the 4-base setup, but Percival had a very comfortable start. He was able to cripple the economy, knock down the 4th base, get into the mineral lines, and also reset the Colossus count early on. Percival, he was very aggressive, very successful with that aggression as well. We saw that Lelix was able to recover there, able to bounce back. He did have his, of course, timing with 4 Colossus. The reason why that timing was so scary though was because Percival was late to start Vikings, late to start Viking production, late to get a second starport. So that was on Percival. He was a little bit it was an oversight from the Terran, and that allowed Lelix to actually have a moment to bounce back and to recover, and made it as close as it was. This time double gas from the Terran player, faster factory, delayed CC. With this, we can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion, we can go into a more committed mine drop. This can lead into early tanks, into an early tank Viking push. Our eyes are on Percival. Sure, that's what you got. Cloak Banshee. Cloak Banshee is a little bit out of meta nowadays. We spoke about how much TVP has evolved and changed and just morphed over the year, and again, it's done so much. One of the reasons why Cloak Banshees did die out was because it became much more common for Protoss players to open up Robo. I say open up Robo to get a Robo before expanding and getting a 3rd base, to get early detection. So early detection became more standard, so Cloak Banshees became less effective. That's why last game we saw no Cloak Banshee but Speed Banshee instead. That's just how TVP has morphed over the year. Percival does break in. Did open up Reaper Hellion initially, but behind this, after reinforcing, is going for a said swap, or going into his add-ons. We'll see where this leads. Once again, Lelix going for early charge. Once again, this is meant to shut down early pushes. As Reaper Hellion does break through. Ooh, gets into the mineral line, gets 1, gets up to 2 probes. Assuming. Barely not. Oh my god, the power of the shield battery. Jesus. Protects it. Oh no! I spoke too soon. Hellion, he barely does get the shot off. 4 probes going to be going down. Reapers, they bust into the main. Aye. 5 probe kills. 6 probes. 7 probe kills. Brutal damage here. Again, initially the defense was nice at the natural, but we were unable to deny the dive into the main base. Critical damage, 7 probes. Percival starts things off with the lead. So a better start for Percival, following this up with his own Widowmine drop, Widowmines and 2 Marines. Here we go. Hunting for more economic damage. Does pull away. Percival was just building up. We have early stim in production. Bearing in mind here that there's no tank production. Similar to last game, no tanks are on the way, so as a result, we have earlier stim than usual. Stim, combat shields building up his bio. Getting ready to be active once again. The drop does threaten. Buenas noches, Lojo, buenas noches. Get some sleep, Happy, get some sleep. I will sleep soon as well. We'll sleep soon. So I think I went to bed at like 5 a.m. Woke up at 8. So we've got 3 hours of sleep. Then back to bed for tonight's cast. Is the plan. Oh. As Percival does chase down the probes. Oh no! Oh, the boys, they do. Thankfully, they do focus on the Widow Mine just in time. Ay, ay, ay. Barely shuts that down. Very close, very clutch. Percival does pull away. And here comes the main push. Here comes the stim timing. You can see stim is finishing up in 5 seconds. +1 is finishing up in a couple seconds as well. Combat shields is already done. So a very strong stim timing here from Percival. Meanwhile, Letlix, he is in position at his third. So he's got most of his army at his third base. He's got one Immortal in between his bases. We have 4 Stalkers in the main. Blink is not done, so we actually have 1 Stalker that's trapped. Oh no! Job comes in. He can avoid that Stalker. And now he sets up. Gets stims further in. Letlix out of position. And probes aren't going down. At the same time, Zelramba does catch reinforcements. But this is still brutal damage, getting 11 probes. Mind Shot connecting as well. The choke point working against Letlix. And here the trade is just so efficient. Even if he gets cleaned up, but he's not going to be cleaned up, he just stims in. He just keeps going. It just keeps going. Takes down the Zells, takes down the Stalkers. Oof. 0 Stalkers left, which means we can just pick up. No anti-air. I just goes to the mineral line, getting as many probes as he can. Gets another 4. And pulls away. From here he pulls away. That was 15 probe kills, 14 Zealots, 2 Sentries, 5 Stalkers, just for a handful of Marines, just for Marines, Marauders. A very expendable army. Percival getting his third base up and running. Here comes the next wave. Here come reinforcements. As he moves out, there's a War Prison moving in. Okay, Letlix, he has a chance. He has a chance to backstab. Colossus are building up back at home, and Percival, he does turn around. Oh, for a moment. Remember, he turns around. Majo goes off. Zealots are cleaned up. First, we have plenty to defend, and now here come the Vikings. Viking production has finally begun. This is earlier compared to last game, so he's building up his Vikings. I believe there's already Colossus. And again, Letlix, he is stumbling his way into the mid-game. He took a lot of economic damage, so he's just recovering. His 4th base is very late, so late 4th base once again for Letlix. Late expansion, late economy. And that's why Percival has a massive lead here. Massive supply lead. Here, the soup, it's not lying, Pappy. Not this time. Because of all the economic damage. Now, the high Colossus count can help Letlix defend, even against a larger army. As long as there aren't too many Vikings, though. And even then, I don't know if there's going to be enough support. Mind Drop on the left. Marines, a distraction on the right. Letlix, he does pull away. Oh! And he pulls away in time. Doom drop into the main base. Widow Mines, they continue into the natural. And he does burrow. Oh! Ooh, does connect. 5 probes. 5 probes so far. And Letlix, he is barely holding on. He should barely defend. Oh, he's going to be losing so much more here in the main. The gateway's getting depowered. Drop can always pick up. Picks up, pulls out. Back at home, Percival building more Vikings. Forward CC. We have the Academy on the way, getting into Ghost production. Armory as well for 2-2. Just realized 0 upgrades here for Letlix. No Forge, no upgrades. He can't afford it. And Percival is getting very comfortable. He can soon move, Pappy. Now, the best chance here for Lelix is to outposition his opponent if Percival's like in the middle of moving out. If he's in the middle of pushing, for example, maybe Lelix can hit a third, get some damage done, then recall back home. But when it comes to a head-on fight, we have to favor Percival here. As Percival, he's almost maxed. He's up to 8 Vikings, soon to be 10. Oof. Missile goes off. And no prism. And Percival, we can just commit in. Respecting this quite a bit. Kites away. And picking up Stalkers, rallying across. Still has to recover those Vikings. Doesn't want to get caught out. Doesn't want to lose them unnecessarily. As we have a 4th Colossus on the way. Let's go. And Percival, he is not maxed. So he is maxed. Vikings, they poke in. They should get a volley up. There we go. He can 2-shot the Colossus. Oh. And he gets 1. Colossus goes down. Once again, Percival is being very careful with how he engages. You could argue he's being a little bit too careful. Like, he doesn't. He's fine. Like, he just committed. There we go. Another Colossus goes down. He's down to 2. Down to 2. Down to 0. As both Colossus fall. Only gateway units left. Zealots and Stalkers. And Percival, he just overwhelms. He breaks through. GG gets called. And Percival will take the series 2-0. Advancing on to the upper bracket quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations and congratulations to Percival. Does claim the series. Again, game 2 was a lot cleaner from Percival, was a lot more in his favor. I would say that game 1 was more back and forth. There was a lot more opportunities and a lot more chances for Lelix on ley lines, as he had some better moments and some better engagements, specifically when he was able to engage without really any Vikings to be concerned by. But here in game 2, we saw that Percival, he had learned from the previous game. He was a lot more aggressive. He was faster to switch into Viking production. He was going for some more drop heavy play, abusing the fact that early on there was no blink, so early on there was no way to keep up, and GG. GG, well played. Percival, he adapted well to Lelix's style, and Lelix did go for the same kind of build and the same kind of play style and composition 2 games in a row. Right? 2 games in a row. We spoke about this in the previous series in, I want to say, the Demi match, if not, sorry, in the Mute series, where trying to rely on the same style multiple times in a series, it's a little bit too much to ask for, especially at this level of play. Your opponent is going to be adapting and is going to be adjusting to you and will have a more refined response. More refined. But GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations to Percival. And with that, that does wrap up the first part of day 3. GG, well played. That is going to be all of our upper bracket matches concluding. Let's quickly catch up on the bracket itself and kind of go over those results. Un momento. Here we go. So exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look back yourselves, as the bracket has been updated. Here we go. So from the top, we had Shameless. Shameless took down Demi 2-0 to advance on to the upper bracket semifinals. Shameless is waiting for the winner of Jumi and Hydra, as Hydra did take down Rebellion 2-0 as well. So Hydra takes down Rebellion, Hydra up against Jumi into Shameless. That's a lot of PvP. That's a lot of Protoss versus Protoss. Anything canon will happen. I do favor Shameless amongst these players, but I can definitely see Hydra and Jumi causing upsets in the PvP matchup. So there's always a lot of variance involved when these players do face off against each other. We'll see who can make it through. Scrolling down, we have Lelix. Lelix took down Mute 2-1, went all the way to the ace match. We just wrapped up with Percival versus Lelix, and again, that was a bit of a closer back and forth in game 1 specifically. In game 1, game 2, more one-sided. Percival does advance on into the next round. I did mention earlier that my eyes to win this tournament are on Shameless, they're on Percival, they're on Young Yakov. That's still a series that is yet to play out. We have Yakov, he took down Foxer, that was last week. Baby Marine took down Nickrat, and we have Baby Marine versus Young Yakov in that upper bracket. That's a spicy series. Do look forward to it. do look forward to these TVZs. Meanwhile, when it comes to the second part of day 3, which will be later on this evening, we're going to be going live in around 7.5 hours time. 7.5 hours. Basically, I'm going to go pass out. I'm going to go pass out, get some sleep, and we'll be back with the second half with 4 more best of 3s in 7.5 hours. Scrolling down, that's going to be the lower bracket. The lower bracket here, again, the lower bracket does actually extend further towards the left hand side. I believe no one is eliminated yet from the tournament, so all these players that got knocked down, they're all in the lower brackets, and they'll be playing tonight to determine who will be eliminated from the tournament and who will have another chance to make it through that lower bracket. We're going to be casting Triple versus Honmono, Jomek versus Moja, Bappy versus Minovik, and another match, another yet to be determined match as well. So 4 more best of 3s, and again, that's going to be in 7 hours time. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed. And again, it takes quite some time to work through this event. There's a lot of games, a lot of matches. Every single series gets casted, including all these lower bracket matches as well. That's why it often takes like around 2 months. It takes around 2 months to cover the event. And sometimes we cast it, sometimes Steadfast. You can see down here, Steadfast. I think Steadfast casted day 1, and we casted day 2 and day 3. So far, we are the 2 content creators that have covered this event. There are other weeks where maybe Chicken Man or Dave Testa or Wardy will be covering this instead. It all depends on who's available, right? Who's available. I believe the only reason why we casted day 2 and day 3 is because Steadfast was traveling, or he was otherwise busy with Stellafest, of course, with Stellafest. So he was less available. Otherwise, we always are, of course, Pappy, of course. Always ready to cast, man. Art forfeit. It's only 1 player limited so far. Oh, well, there you go, there you go. It feels bad, man. Unfortunately, it looks like Art did forfeit. Wait, who forfeited? Did Art forfeit or did Art forfeit? That's the real question. That's... oh, no. Feels bad, man. I want to see the Art versus Art rematch again. Sorry, rematch after last season. If only, if only. For now, though, we are going to be heading off. So thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, bam, you can see it here before you. You can see that we have a back-to-back cast of OSC. We just had our morning cast. We have the evening cast later on tonight. We have the CranKy Epic Series tomorrow. That's going to be an SC Evolution cast. We have the Pixar Cup on Wednesday. We have Wardy TV Monday on Wednesday as well. We have another one on Friday, as I believe there are going to be 2 Wardy TV Mondays later on tonight, back-to-back, because Wardy has front page from Twitch. So he has Twitch front page, so that means he's going to have 2 Wardy Mondays back to back. Crazy, might be crazy. We have Pegasus Cup, we have the Turtle Tussle, we have MSO, we have STC. This is our current schedule. It's a little bit leaner compared to last week, which I'm looking forward to. Like, last week was so intense. Literally 2 casts a day, every single day. And we had the Stellafest B stream as well. Like, it was very intense last week, so I'm looking forward to actually resting and recovering and being able to, you know, catch up in other ways. I've got a lot of VODs to edit. Like, I still haven't scheduled the VODs from like 2 weeks ago, so I have to get around to doing that. There's a lot to do, Pat. A lot to do. Looking forward to having some afternoons off a little bit. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Love the YouTube content. Yes, speaking of YouTube, you can check us out over on YouTube. Socials in the chat. You'll get a link to our YouTube channel. We have a Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have all things CranKy Ducklings. And again, we upload on YouTube on a daily basis, and we also live stream on YouTube as well. So if you can't watch something live, and if you want to watch it, if you're like, you know what, I want to see the rest of this event, but I'm going to be asleep in 7 hours, then check it out via the VODs over on YouTube under the live tab. All of our streams, the VODs are under the live tab. The uploads are, of course, under the videos tab. It's all there. It's all there. It's all there. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Again, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Going to be getting some rest, and we'll be back in 7 hours for some more StarCraft. Otherwise, thank you so much. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. I don't know if many people are streaming at the moment. This is usually when we have the NA boys streaming, so like Bomyoja or Patches, sometimes Nina. Who's live? Who is live? Oh, Sal is still live. Oh, I feel like he's usually asleep by now, but okay. We have Sal. We have Florencia. Lovely. Oh god. We'll give someone a raid. Give someone some love. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you either later tonight or some more for some more StarCraft. Until then, thanks for watching. Ciao, bye, ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching.